Hey Russell fam, in today's video, I'm going to give you a look inside how I homeschool. Be back in just a second. Hi, my name is Becky and welcome to our Russell's Loving Life YouTube channel. Here on this channel, we talk about homeschooling, homemaking, and everything in between. I am a homeschooling mom of two, and I have been homeschooling since 2012. I am currently homeschooling a first grader and a sixth grader. We also have a blog, which is russellslovinglife.com. There, I give you tips and tricks and things that I have learned through my years of homeschooling. If you are new to our channel, please consider subscribing and clicking that little bell notification down at the bottom. That just lets you know every time I upload a video, and it lets me know that you like the content that I am putting out. And if you're a returning Russell fam, we are so glad you are back. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I homeschool using multiple curriculums. Now, if you've been around for a while, you know My Father's World is my basic major curriculum that I use. I use that for Bible, I use it for history, and I use it for science. But I have substituted other curriculums in there, and I'm going to show you how I plan all of that into our homeschool day. So I'm going to turn this camera around and show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to show you how I do it for my first grader and how I do it for my sixth grader, because I use two totally separate curriculums and all the extras for them. Okay, first off, I'm going to start off by showing you what I am using for my sixth grader and how I plan it and use it using different curriculums that we have come to love. And just to let you know that a max day for my sixth grader, the longest that we homeschool, is 4 hours. That's all we do when it comes to book work. Now, life skills and all of that kind of stuff, chores and all of that, I don't even count that. But when we sit down, book work type stuff, max day for my sixth grader is 4 hours. So I just wanted to make sure you knew that. So I'm going to open it up here and I'm going to show you where we've done a week. So here is My Father's World. If you have not seen it, it lays out your weeks for you. Like here is week 13. And you can see I've done my checks on here. But it shows you that for Bible, we are going to review James 1:12, verse 21. Okay? And we're going to learn James 1, verse 22 and memorize it. And then on Wednesday, or that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, is how it's supposed to go. However you do this, on which is typically our Wednesday, we start learning another verse, which is James 1:23. So we memorize 2 Bible verses that week. Okay, and I don't use the spelling that they recommend. I'll show you the spelling that I use in just a second, but I write what week we're doing and I check it off when we do it. On Thursday, there's always a spelling test. English, I don't do My Father's World, so I don't do anything there. But for grammar and writing, I put it down here that what we're currently working on. So every week I know I just write what we've done and check it off when we do it. Writing, this is lesson 12, day 1. And as we do them, we check them off. Okay? And then right here for math, I don't use the math that they suggest. I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying it didn't work for us. So I write in, that was an investigative that we did. We used Saxon. Then we did lesson 41, lesson 42, lesson 43. Like I said, we do a 4-day week. And then we get into our history, which is Story of the World. And so we read the pages they tell us to read. And if they have extra books, like this one was George Washington's World Book, we read that day. And then every day there's a notebooking where they have to write a summary of what they've read. And then we get down in here to our science, where we're doing World of Animals, and it tells us to read there. And then we have Guide to God's Animals. Can't talk, I'm sorry. And it tells us the pages to read. So when I say open and go curriculum, this is what I mean, open and go. It's laid out for us. So let me show you the other curriculums that I'm currently using. That was there, okay? And we use Saxon, which is Saxon 7-6. That is 6th grade, advanced 7th grade. If you've ever wondered why the Saxon does the funky letters, that's what it means. So we are using Saxon Math 7-6 this year. And let me just open to a lesson. Like you saw in my book, I wrote that we did lesson 43. Here is the mental math that they have to do. Here's the new concept. And it pretty much, you just read this, but I'm teaching Bailey to be independent. So he has to read all of this. And if he doesn't understand, then he comes and asks, because there are lots of examples right here. Here's some more examples. And then here is the lesson practice for the new concept. They have several ones that they have to practice. There's some more of the practice. And then you get over here to the mixed practice. And this is, if you're not familiar with Saxon, Saxon is a spiral approach. They'll teach you a new concept. And then when you get down here to the mixed problems, they keep going back. If you can see, let me pull it up here so you can see. There are little bitty numbers, like right here. This tells you that this is coming from lesson 42. So if the child gets there and has trouble doing that, you can flip back to that exact lesson and it will tell you. Over here, this tells you, I'm trying to get to you can see it. The little number, but right here it says 29. Right above it, it was 19. So that's lesson 19, lesson 29. So it tells you which lessons to go back to if your child has any problems. And there's usually 30 problems each day, and then you move on to your next lesson. So that is our Saxon math. And typically, math is what takes the longest part of our school day. And I think it's just Saxon. A lot of people say that Saxon takes a while. But here is our Growing with Grammar. This is our workbook. And like it'll tell you worksheet 314. And then you open your student manual to 314. And this is what Bailey does, again, to be an independent learner. I make him read. I'm trying to find 314. Okay, here they are diagramming indirect objects. So he has to read all of this. And so it's just these 2 pages. If you flip over, it tells you it's the next one. But he has to read these 2 pages, and then he has to complete this worksheet. And it's usually 2 sides in the workbook. Yes, this one's 2 sides. And then he comes to me, and I look over it. It comes with an answer guide for me. If I had any doubt of something, I just look it up. But that lets me know if he is understanding what he is reading independently and being able to put into the worksheet. So this is our Growing with Grammar, and it's from Jack Chris Publishing. And so is our spelling, and so is our writing. This is our first year to use the spelling and the writing. So soaring with spelling and vocabulary, and then winning with writing. And let me just go right here. And these are going to be, it tells us this is lesson 12. We're going to review. We're going to go back to some of the things we've already covered. And this is day 1. There's 5 days on here. So there's just worksheets that they do every day. And then here is day 5. So this is our first time using this curriculum, like I said, but I have no complaints so far. I am loving it. I love that it's broken down by lessons, that it's broken down by each day of what I'm supposed to do, and that it comes back and reviews. So there again, it is that spiral approach that works best for both of my children. And come to find out, that is how I've always learned, is a spiral approach. So teaching them is been a little easier for me because I understand what they don't understand because I've been there and done that. So that is our soaring with spelling. And then here is our winning with writing. And let me find a beginning lesson. Okay, this is lesson 15, day 1. They're doing creative writing. And so they're going to read about this. And I love it because it talks about doing your outline form, and it takes you through each process of each step of developing different writing styles. And this is just, it's so simple. It's so laid out. It answers the questions. It has questions for them to answer, and it just builds on the basics. And then we get over here to day 2, and we're doing our creative writing, and here is our rough outline. So this helps them gather all of their thoughts. There's their subtopic 1 and the details of that topic, subtopic 2 and the details. And then here's the final outline where they have to actually make their thoughts into sentences. And so it's teaching them how to write a complete essay. And here's the rough draft where they have to write it and make their corrections. And then on day 5, they have to write their final draft from the corrections they've done the day before. So we are loving the winning with writing. This is level 6. This is our first year using this, but we are loving it so much. So like I said, these are pretty much all open and go curriculums, and that is how I plan. And these are my favorite curriculums that we are using. So let me get the first grade stuff and I'll show you that. All right, here again, I am using My Father's World, and for Becca, with her being in first grade, a max day for her is 1 hour. And so it covers so much, but at her age, their attention span is not there that long. So the book work that we do is an hour at the most. So here again, it's my first grade curriculum, Learning God's Story, and it is an open and go curriculum. Let me get to, here we go. Okay, and as you can see, I used this with Bailey when he was in first grade. And so I've got all my checks on it, so I had to turn my checks into X's. But it tells me what we're doing. It tells me what materials I'm going to need. It tells me what I'm doing on Monday. And guys, it really basically says, let me see if I can find. It basically tells you what to say, how to explain something to your child. There's a memory verse that they have every week that they have to memorize in first grade. That is just why I love My Father's World so much, because it's point to this, say this, do this. And it was so easy when I was first learning how to homeschool or trying to figure out what my style was or what their learning style was. And it just helped me so much. And I don't use the math that comes with, I did use the math with Bailey, but I don't use it with Becca. And I usually write down, I guess I haven't been writing them down lately. There. I usually write down at the bottom on her math what lessons we're doing so I can check them off for that week. And, but I don't use My Father's World math. It just didn't work well with Bailey. And I was using Saxon with Bailey, so I decided just to go ahead and start using Saxon with Becca. I used it in kindergarten. But when I say open and go, you open. It's got the workbooks, it's got the student sheets. There's nothing you have to prepare unless it's an experiment or something that you need to get. Like right here, you know, you're just going to have restaurant notes and it tells you to look at Thursday. And then if you want to do, this is optional for Friday, but it tells you what you're going to need to get ready for that whole entire week so you can look at it. And I showed you the Growing with Grammar for 6th grade, level 6. I'm using Growing with Grammar for Becca. It is pretty much like Bailey's. We haven't gotten to diagramming or any of that in 1st grade or level 1. It's basically just going over nouns. Let me see. trying to find a, we're going over nouns, pronouns, and those type things, proper nouns, common nouns, prepositions. So right now she's in the review. This is what we're going to do tomorrow. We're in the review of nouns, pronouns, and prepositions. These are things she has to fill out. And it's just a two-sided worksheet. Oops. So there's no prep work for this. I just open and go with it. And then, like I said, Saxon, this is what we're using for first grade. It comes with worksheets, and it tells you what worksheets you're going to need, what things you're going to need for that day. There's very little prep work in here. It comes with the fact sheets that you need. It comes with the cards, the addition, subtraction, multiplication, division cards. Then there's a meeting thing we don't really do, but we talk about the date, the weather. She knows her left and her right. And then we get into the lesson over here. And where it's in bold, that is what you say. And what's not in bold, it tells you to write. Write the number 29 on the chalkboard. Then it says, what digit do you see what digits do you see in the number 29? And so what's in bold is what you're reading. So to me, this is an open and go curriculum. It tells you what to say. It even tells you what to write. And it has made my life so much easier. So that's the lesson. And then you get in here to the class sheet with the practices. Then there's worksheets. Here's the answers. Typically, if she gets everything right on the front of the sheet, I don't make her do the back sheet. There's no point if she already understands what she's doing. So that is our math. And I'm not using Soaring with Spelling with Becca. I used this curriculum with Bailey up until 5th grade. It is a free curriculum that you print offline. It is called K-12 Reader. They have several curriculums, but I've only used the spelling. And it is free. It's from 1st grade up to 5th grade. And basically, like for this one, it gives her 8 words. She has to write the words. Then here she has to circle which one is spelled correctly. This is the answer key. Of course, I take this out. I don't give her this, and then I put it back in here when she's done. Here's fill in the blank. And there's the answer sheet. There's fill in the missing letter. And there's the answer. Like I said, I do take these out and put them on a clipboard. Here's the clipboard. And she has to work on them, and then I put them back in here when she's done. And then on Thursday, she takes the spelling test. So literally, that's all I do for 1st grade. All these curriculums are open and go. There's no planning that I have to do. So this is how I do my homeschool with multiple curriculums that I like, that is easy, open and go. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope it has given you the information that you are looking for on how to plan or how to use these curriculums to help your family and to help your children. If you have any questions, please drop them down in the comments below. As always, remember to be kind, be careful, be considerate, and have a great day. Bye.